For those of you who don't know my story and how this all came to be, really first and foremost was personal necessity. I have naturally curly, frizzy hair that I've been struggling with my whole life. My mom, who's here in the audience tonight, I begged her since I was a little girl to blow out my hair. And I think it's so interesting all these years later that this is what I'm doing with my life, running this blow dry empire, because even as a little girl, I knew how much better I felt with the blowout. I mean, subconsciously, I don't think I realized that it gave me confidence, but I think it did. And even as a little girl, I felt better and more put together when my hair was blown out. So fast forward, I think that's when the seed was planted for Drybar, if I'm being really honest. But fast forward to, 30 years later, and about 7 years ago, I was a stay-at-home mom, raising my 2 little boys. And of course, I have boys, not girls. That's interesting. But I was a stay-at-home mom, and I was raising my boys, and I was so grateful to be a stay-at-home mom and to be able to be home with my kids. But after 5 years of that, I got the itch to get back out there. I couldn't go to another park. I had to. God love my kids. I had to get away from them. But it was I had, because my parents had their own business growing up, I think I grew up in a very entrepreneurial environment. And so I was always coming up with business ideas. So I had this idea that I should start blow drying all my mommy friends. I was very immersed in the mommy community in LA. And so I posted a little one-page, a little posting on one of the local mommy groups and said, hey, I want to start a business and come over and blow out your hair, and I'm only going to charge you $40 to do it. Is anybody interested? And lo and behold, I got inundated with emails, and I started this little mobile blow dry business, and it was called Straight at Home. And my husband, who does all the creative for Drybar, Cameron Webb, made me this one-page website and said, if this website is cute, people will call you. And he was right, and they did. And so I started this mobile blow dry business, and I was running around town like a crazy person, blow drying as many women as I could. Granted, I don't think I was actually making any money because, as you know, driving out around LA and gas, but that wasn't the point. For me, it was more about getting out of the house and doing something I loved and talking to adults. But I do love my kids, I really do. But the thing about it and that's when I discovered that I should start I should start Drybar. That's when I figured it out, and it hit me like a ton of bricks, because I was doing all these women, and when I couldn't go to their house and do their blowouts, I would say, what do you do when I can't come? And overwhelmingly, I heard the same thing time and time again. They had 2 bad choices. They would either go to their regular salon and overpay for a blowout, and nobody wanted to do that, or they would go to a discount chain, which I think there's some great businesses out there, but the experience was off, and they didn't know what they were getting. It was variable pricing, and it just was kind of icky. And so I realized that was kind of the light bulb moment for me, that I need to start a place where women can come in and get a great blowout at a great price in a really fun, cool space. Nothing existed. So I went to my brother, who's bald, by the way, and had no idea what this business was about. And when I told him I wanted to start doing just blowouts, he was like, I don't get it. And so I explained to him and got him to understand that, women loved getting their hair blown out, and that it gives you this great confidence. And my vision and my goal was that if we can open a shop and charge the right amount of money, we can do enough volume, and we can get women to come in once a week instead of doing this just for a special occasion, weddings, bar mitzvahs, parties. So I convinced him, and he's the business guy of the family. He's the overachiever. And so once I got him wrangled in to do this, we set out to open our first location. And so we opened our first location in February 2010 in Brentwood. And I'll never forget the first day we opened, because we were packed, and there was women lining up to get blowouts. And we were all like, wow, we're really onto something here. And we really realized that there was this big hole in the marketplace, and that women wanted this service. And so I think we knew early on that we needed to keep growing this thing. And so that was 4 years ago. And now today, as Frances said, we have 37 locations. We're doing over 100,000 blowouts a month, which is just, so crazy. And, we're a $50 million business, and it has just been an absolute, thank you. it's been such a labor of love, and I think that people often think I'm crazy that I work with my brother and my husband. They're my two business partners, but they are my best friends and both bald. Not that that's a problem, but so once we opened this first location, we realized we were onto something. We kept building this business and growing it, and I think when I think about the things that make us successful and have enabled us to grow over the years, there's a couple intangibles, and I think that people often don't realize how much work goes into making Drybar great, and how much it's about the experience, and how we're not selling blowouts, we're selling the happiness and confidence that you get from a great blowout, and that's really the magic of it. I time and time again, I see women, someone even told me tonight that you just, something happens, a transformation happens when we see these women come in and their hair's in a bun and they're serious and they're all business, but when they're done with their blowout and we spin them around for the big reveal, they're just like a different woman, and there's a pep in their step, and they're bouncing to the front, and it's such a great thing to watch. And I think that we've hit this emotional chord with women because we're selling a feeling and we're selling this confidence. So I sincerely believe that's a huge part of our success. And then I would say one of the other big factors is the branding. My husband, who created my little one-page website for my straight-at-home business, created all the collateral and all the design, all the creative that you see for Drybar. And what's so gratifying for us, and especially him, is that he worked in advertising for years, and he's such a genius when it comes to creative and marketing. And for the first time in his life, he was able to create exactly what he wanted, and nobody could tell him he couldn't do it. And he's as creative as they come, and he's so strong-willed and so particular about our brand and everything we do. When I want to have pink flowers on Valentine's Day, he says, absolutely not, they have to be yellow. It's everything is so meticulous, and I think that protecting that brand and protecting what we've built it's so important, and I think a lot of businesses miss that and don't realize how much our clients appreciate that. And when you go to a Drybar in LA or New York or Dallas or whichever Drybar you're in, you're getting that same experience, you're getting that same branding. The stylists are trained the same way. They're all using our Buttercup blow dryer. So all of that, I think, really plays into the overall experience. So here we are, 5 years later, and I would never have imagined I'd be standing up here telling my story. It's been totally a dream come true, and I'm also so proud that we've recently launched a product line. About a year ago, we launched a product line that was really crafted specifically for the perfect blowout, and I felt like we were using a mishmash of different products in our shops, and I've been doing hair for 17 years and I've seen it all, but I wanted products that really were crafted for the perfect blowout, and everything from our blow dryer that has amazing technology in it to our wet products and dry shampoo, it all matters and makes the experience so much better and makes your blowout last longer, which at the end of the day is what we all want. So it's really exciting to be here, and thank you so much for hearing my story. I'm excited to hear yours.